Hey everybody, this is Alizée Fan here at theville.org. I wanted to show you this Minecraft creation I've got here, the full-scale model of the US Capitol building, 1-to-1. This is built on one of our SMP servers here. It's fully live, monsters and everything. No op commands, no give commands, no inventory editing. It's all 100% legitimately gained stuff to make this here building. And I'm going to take you on a little tour here. The hole that you see it's in, this hole took about 4 months to dig. We started January 20th and finished at the end of May. And then it took another 4 months to build the building. It's now it's actually September 11th, slightly after midnight. Yeah, 8-month process in all. A lot of white wool. That was one of the biggest challenges. It's about 30,000 white wool, probably about 30,000 smooth stone, 45,000 timber, and a heck of a lot of other stuff. About 150,000 blocks in all. But coming inside here, this is of course the rotunda, most famous part of the building. Looking up there, it's the apotheosis of Washington, or as close as you can get using a 1-meter scale, Minecraft blocks. Main part of the rotunda down here is out of sandstone, just like the real thing. Goes back to white wool up top to represent the outer walls. And if we head towards the Senate wing, we're going to see, oh, there's a creeper up there too. Small Senate rotunda here. Back in the days before HVAC and electricity, used that to get light and air down to the lower levels. Do my best to get it lit up well, but unfortunately sometimes things still find a way to spawn. This is the old Senate chamber. Back before the Senate was quite as big as it was, and before the Capitol was as big as it was, this is where the Senate worked. These days it's mostly used for private party caucuses and things of that nature. But yeah, I figured I got to do this tour now, because with the 1.8 patch dropping tomorrow or in the very near future either way, we are resetting our multiplayer servers, and so this is going to get wiped out. That's how we do it. Did the Cathedral of Notre Dame on our last version, did this one here. Wanted to document it. This is the current Senate chamber, the new one. Got a blue floor, appropriately for the moment. Viewing gallery up there, seats for the senators. And back through this area, this would be one of the private back halls senators use, where they can take the steps down to their offices. Their offices of the senators are in these very beautiful Baroque halls called the Bromidi corridors. Every last inch of them is painted, the floors are ornately tiled, all of them are different, a lot of them have their own names. The Patent corridor on the other end, the Zodiac corridor is, I think, the Midway one here. At any rate, I really like using these crafting blocks for floor tiles. They look kind of like nice terracotta tile. Did my best to make all the paintings mirror image and such. As we proceed back along here, we're on the ground floor. We're going to run into the old Supreme Court chamber. This is back before the Supreme Court had its own building. They met in this chamber here. This is directly below the old Senate chamber, continuation of that nice half-dome style architecture. And this is the small Senate rotunda again, bottom floor. And this is what's known as the crypt. This is the area underneath the main rotunda. There's nobody actually buried here or anything like that, but it's called the crypt. All the columns are made of sandstone on top and something called Potomac brownstone on bottom, Potomac brownstone, and that's why I use the brown wool. That was one of the early resource challenges, gathering a bunch of brown wool, since there's not a whole lot of them. But fortunately there are some awesome people on the server who helped me out, dedicated a lot of time to finding things. This is the small house rotunda, same idea as the Senate rotunda. It's a very important architectural feature of the Capitol. It's very old, survived a lot of fires and stuff like that. But
Jim being disconnected
yeah,
from the
probably around 1,500 man-hours or so to do this whole project, and at least half of those are from people other than myself. A couple folks in particular just spent almost all of their time helping me out, doing almost anything I asked them to do, and countless others donated vast quantities of materials, spent their time hunting on my behalf, so this was definitely not just me. This was everybody here at the Ville, call them villains for the most part. A lot of people helping out on this. It was great. And here we are. up above the Hall of Corridors that we passed through down below, this is the current house chamber. Again with the viewing gallery all around, and the red carpet currently. Leaving the current house chamber, we get over to what's sometimes called the Old House Chamber, now the National Statuary Hall. I think this is one of my favorite rooms in the Capitol. Just very ornate. I love the floor in here, and it has the nice red bunting around the viewing gallery, which is accessed through the public halls. This, of course, is these days open to tourists and things like that. Would not have been back in the day. If we continue this way for last location, I'll take you up to as high as you can go on the rotunda, show you what it looks like from up above. Got this curved staircase up to the engineering spaces. While I could get blueprints of the first 3 floors of the Capitol, didn't drawings, that's probably a good thing. That sort of stuff probably not good to have on the internet. So this just gives you kind of a sense of how big the building is. It's 236 meters long, 108 meters wide, and 88 meters tall. And while naturally in the real building you can go up the rotunda on this side, you wouldn't be outdoors. Unfortunately, with the 1 meter scale, it's a little hard to do small hallways, but it gets you the right idea. There is a staircase like this, and there's a little walkway you can go around here. It's the rotunda down there, and this is what that painting is like up close. It's a gigantic painting. Obviously, again, you have a restriction of scale, so you can't make it specific, but all those are roughly the correct colors in the correct places to match the real thing. Painting is called The Apotheosis of Washington, George Washington ascending to heaven and being accepted as a god. In here we see the dome. The dome is actually made up of around 1,000 blocks of iron. The real dome is also made of solid iron. It gets so hot on warm days they have to close it down because it acts like an oven. It can actually knock people unconscious and kill them if given enough time, so they have to shut it down even to the VIPs. But up top here, the very peak, right underneath the spire, is, I don't know if there's an official name for it, I call it the cupola. Little view here, that's the east over there. The sun comes up and west out this way. And just a view of a lot of the torches and stuff that we set out, every 5 meter grid, just to keep the monsters from spawning quite as often. Still get a couple that would feel it necessary to attack us during construction, but that helped a great deal. I don't even know how many torches there are. There are several thousand torches. And, of course, the rain starts, which means it's probably a good time to end the tour. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you in there.